If you're tuning in now or after the live, I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you find your way back, as YouTube, right when I started my stream, as some of you know, it shut it down right away. So I know that's going to affect the reach in this midday market report. So we'll keep it positive and we'll do the best we can. Please make sure to hit that like button, as it will help push this content. It's just unfortunate that we were off to such a hot start. We had 13 likes in the first 30 seconds, which will really help push the algorithm. But now those cease to exist since YouTube made me restart the stream. So let me timestamp this and we'll get on with it. Good early afternoon, 1:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So that's really going to hamper the production we have, at least as far as communication goes between all of us. It's always a shame when YouTube decides to shut down something after I've already started it, because now it's not going to reach the proper audience, because now two things at once it'll look like are being released on my YouTube page, and that is the worst possible thing that can happen for the algorithm. So I'm going to do the best I can with this live, but if we have a very small audience, we all know why. So Dow Jones right now is up 495 points, or up 1.49%, up to 33,770. Currently, we've bounced off of a very big support structure at 32,580, and we knew as long as we didn't lose 32,580, we could bounce back up and not come to the bottom of the broadening wedge. If we lost that 32,580, it would have forced us back down to the bottom around 31,000. Right now, we're coming up to resistance at 33,906, and we're going to see if this is a W reversal that ends up getting put in, and we'll see exactly how this plays out. MGR, welcome in. Yeah, YouTube, unfortunately, I started a stream in YouTube within the first 45 seconds, found it necessary to shut my stream down. So it's going to make it very difficult, unfortunately, for everybody to find the stream. So we're just kind of going through it, and I expect to talk more to myself on this one, just because YouTube has done me a very big disservice, as they do many days. So I'm just trying to stay positive, and I am, I'm just going to put the content out, and whoever gets in here, gets in here. Good evening to you, Mo. Welcome in. Thanks, Tom, for all the continued updates. You're welcome. You're welcome. Bitcoin maxis run YouTube. I wouldn't doubt it. The problem is I don't have that big pull like a lot of people. Well, I don't put in a big marketing budget. Like, that's the big secret. I don't do a marketing budget. Everybody else's stuff, if you see it advertised, they use a marketing budget, which gives YouTube a reason to push them through the algorithm. But it's unfortunate. I'm going to delete that other video just so that it doesn't clog up my channel. But that video already had 31 likes. And I was literally on for a minute. A literal minute. So, it makes you a little disappointed, because I put in a lot of work, and I can't have that affecting my algorithm. Now I've got 12 likes in 3.5 minutes, plus the 31 from the other video. Now you're talking about where you'd be within the algorithm. Hey, I appreciate that, Russell, for sharing it. Yeah, that definitely does help. So what we're looking at here with the Dow, we bounced off 32,580. If it would have broke that, we knew we were coming down to the bottom of the broadening wedge, which it doesn't need to. It's already hit it both, twice on support and twice on resistance. But now if we want it to break up, you need to break 33,906 and hold it. Or if you're expecting it to come down and retest that broadening wedge at the bottom, you would have to lose 32,580. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. John, welcome in. Hey, Tom, remember the 589? $589? I do. I actually made a 2-year subscriber badge with the 589, with the moon behind it. But it's 0.589 cents. That's what I kept telling everybody when The Simpsons and everybody was saying end of 23 was going to be $589. I said, no, it's going to be 58.9 cents. And I even made a 2-year badge to signify that after I was on here for 2 years for paid people. The ones who decide to pay it forward in Tom's Army. I don't see anybody in here right now with that badge. JW, welcome in. Good early afternoon. I greatly appreciate you finding your way here. ATK as well. After YouTube shut my stream down, not even a minute into it when I opened the first stream. DXY is down 56 cents today, or 0.5%, down to 106.10. I mean, we're really in a dicey spot here, ladies and gentlemen. Are we coming down to lose 105.71 and invalidate that W reversal and make this the head formation? I was unsubscribed on several channels, including yours. They're messing around. Yep. Oh, trust me, I knew something was up when a couple weeks ago I had my biggest one-day drop ever in subscribers of 27. And then 2 days later, I had a burst of, in a 48-hour period, I had 170 people join. So you're telling me 2 days prior, 27 people hated my content, and 48 hours later, 170 new subscribers subscribed? It just didn't make any sense to me. So, you know, YouTube's definitely doing something. But I've been shadow banned for years. Ever since they banned my channel for a week when I was speaking truth. That's why I only speak crypto now. So, but I mean, it backfired on them. I started a separate channel and it became partner. I just don't talk on it because I want everything here. INWV, welcome in. You're welcome. I did see your comment, John, about that. That's interesting on 11/19/23. So that's with the DXY. So pay attention. If we do end up having a close below 105.93 would be big for the DXY if it's going bearish. But you really need to close below 105.71 and then invalidate the structure down at 105.30. I like the 105.30 to get below. So that's what we're looking for there. The 10-year, the government's buying it up. Remember what we talked about yesterday? The government's printing, they asked for $1 trillion, which we thought would lead to risk on pumping. And it's actually a good thing for crypto. I know we have returned down a little bit, but I'm going to show you why with XRP very briefly when we get through this. The inverted hammer candle, that it is all but formed now here after that pull down, which is exactly what I talked about in this morning's update. So please do me the diligence to at least go like that morning update. So the 10 years down 1.37%, and it's reversing now. It's coming down to the support I talked about. I think there's no doubt we should, if it really wants to pull the structure I talked about before, and this is how we ran it in the 4 hour, we tried to say it needed to come down, and it probably wouldn't hold the 200, and that's right here. So if we're not gonna hold this, you would expect it to bounce here. Now everybody thinks it's just gonna come down. You would expect a retest in the short order at about 4.79% and a rejection there to confirm this topping reversal. If that's the case, I could see us coming down to 4.27, maybe lower. I have a line in the sand down here. If the government got overzealous, and that's if they get overzealous and try to make things look good, they could feasibly bring it to 3.9 if they continue to print into oblivion. Think about it. $1 trillion they asked for that they need to continue running the budget through the year. And then immediately following that, the stock market pumps, right? And the bond market crashes. That means they're buying up the government bonds. That's the only way to lower it. They hire it because nobody's putting money into the bonds. So they're basically buying bonds at the 10-year level, when at the 6 month, the 3 month, I mean, Janet Yellen should be fired outright. The fact that she's buying bonds and she's buying them in the 30-year variety and the 10-year variety when she can buy the 6 month and 3 year up over 5, it's criminal. It's criminal what they're doing. And if anybody really realized what was going on, it's criminal. And you can see the government bonds over the last, it just depends how you look at it. All time it's in a falling channel. So I mean, what does that tell you? If this breaks out from the all-time chart, then you got to go all the way back to like that's about 1980s, 1975. If this finally breaks out, government bonds are going to go massively up. Massively, because no one's going to buy the shit. And just like in the 70s, if that's the case, I mean, where do you go back to the 70s? At what level do you think this is appropriate if this falling channel is finally done? And I think we can all acknowledge that's a massive falling channel that's starting to reverse finally after all these years. And if that's the case, I mean, you're talking about interest rates that are up at 15.7% over 30 or over 10 years. That means if you get a loan over 10 years, you expect to pay 15+%. Conversely, if you put your money into a government bond, you'd expect 15.7% return in 10 years. But what does that mean for the rate of inflation? So if this is finally reversing, so I keep talking about, if we get over 5.9%, and that's only a 58% chance to even come up there, but if we break over that and hold, we could be coming up to some parabolic double and tripling ups here in the government bond sector. And that would correlate completely And I mean identically to a fall with the DXY under 90. I'm telling you, this is going to be brutal. Does anybody understand the significance of what I'm speaking, or do I sound like a complete tool? And guess what? I want to thank everybody. 47 of you found your way back after YouTube restarted me. Wow. I'm honest, generally shocked. Only 27 of you have hit that like button, so please hit that like button so we can continue to push this so more people can see the truth about the markets. I don't care if everybody thinks I'm a dope. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm right. So I don't care if you think I'm an idiot. I'll just keep spreading the truth. Crude up 2.29% or $1.85. This is WTI, so this is priced in U.S. crude. Thanks, MGR. I really appreciate that. I'll read the questions that I just seen in just a second. It's up 2.3% to $82.71 priced in U.S. dollars. This is the cup and handle. We have the $77 because of what the government said, that they're going to try to bring it back down to about $70 a barrel. They said this very under their breath about a month ago, and I talked about it. I've been talking about it, and that's the one reason why I put the $77, because that's a significant hold point on one of the handles. If it breaks through there, you could see 70, but I think in 24 we're going to be up towards at least 109 at an 85% probability, and then likely 125 or higher. I think we're going into catastrophe here. I think we're going into an utter catastrophe when it comes to pricing in crude, at least in the USA. Anywhere else where inflation's going out of control as well. I mean, we're going into an absolute disaster. When you look at gold, though, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, if you're looking at gold, there's one thing you need to consider with gold. Please, just acknowledge this. We've had look at this, ladies and gentlemen, and please, this is the most important gold update I've done since I've been doing the midday market reports, because I'm going to show you something. We came up in here. We came all the way down and made a cup and handle, right? Now we're making an extremely bullish handle on the cup. If this does swing out, remember, you've had a huge cup and handle that started all the way back in 2011 after a huge run up. Now, if this cup and handle holds, not only do you have a cup and handle here, on the handle is one thing, but what if we go back into the monthly on gold? I mean, look how gold typically acts and responds. You came up, came around, handle. I mean, if we do break out and we're in the monthly right now, just take it down just a little bit. Let's hold it. Let's take a breath, because to me, it's very exciting when you start to see this kind of stuff. What do we see in the daily? Mind you, this was a 12-year cup and handle finally complete. It took 12 years. This took over 12 years to get this completed. And now we've got the bullish handle being formed and almost completed. Now, what's the other thing out of a 12-year pattern completion? Is that making an inverted head and shoulder within the daily time frame scope? And is this making inverted head and shoulder? If that's the case, this is going to rocket up to 2,400 in the short order. And we're already at a triple top for all-time highs. So if we break out of here, we're in discovery for a third time. And I don't think we're coming back down if we break out. We're coming to an area here where we have this major inverted head and shoulders form. Not just that, it took us 12 years to get out of this cup and handle to form this bullish handle. So, I mean, we've gotten rejected a couple times at 2009, as we know, but right now it's looking more bullish than bearish with the gold market, with the bullion market. Yeah, it could come down, and then you take your opportunities. But we already know, we've seen it. It went down $200, came back up within, what, a week? Every time it drops down, it eats it up right away. That's the difference between gold, silver, precious metals, and crypto. Like I always say, crypto is speculative. Precious metals are not. Even if we think we bought a good thing, it's still speculative. So that's what I'm looking at with gold. The gold-silver ratio, we're still trying to see, can we get over this 88.2, or 88 to 1, basically, 88.3. Then we can contend with that 91. But this is going to completely rely on gold moving up just a tiny bit faster than silver. And as you can see today, silver's down 0.75%, whereas gold's up about 0.13%, allowing the gold-silver ratio to increase by about 77 cents on the dollar. Silver at $22.76 an ounce. What I'm talking about, it took that 25% route to come back up. Remember, we had the bounce point. It could have bounced up or continued down. It decided to bounce down and make a V-shaped recovery. And looks like an inverted left shoulder, inverted right shoulder forming. If that's the case, this should have no problem retesting around that $24.30 mark roughly. And then if we break out, we have a technical move of 28. If we go up to 28, it is very likely you'll never see $23 again in silver. It's just, we're on a massive breakout. Like with gold, it took 12 years to get out of this formation. Silver's been stuck in just this little trend for over 3.5 years. If you go even longer in silver, we've been trying to work out of this for ages. For ages. It's been since, 2011 we're trying to work back up to. Think about that. I mean, I don't know about any other asset of this value, because there is none, because it's money. But even if you're looking at speculative that has this kind of upside potential over its history. I mean, look at this. Even if you look at it, you can go back to 1979 when it got rejected the first time around 50. Then in 2011 again. What happens when this happens again? You're going to want to be on that side of history. I can tell you that right now. Like gold and silver, like the wise Peter Schiff says, he's not looking for $5,000 an ounce. He's looking for what happens to the general populace when it goes to 15 or 20 after the U.S. is not the reserve currency. Everybody says it can't happen. Go take a good look at Venezuela, what happened. A couple decades ago when I was growing up, it was very lavish. That was the place to be. Now it's the place to leave. And then B2 gold real quick, because I got to get going here shortly. B2 gold, we have in the daily time frame. We're still holding this beautiful support. As you guys know, I put into about $2,222 into this position. I look to put 2 or 3 times more than that in, but I decided to buy it. Like I said, there was going to be either the first purchase would be down here at 240, or it'd be here when it looks like it's going to hold and have this 25% push out. Right now, it's hard to say which way it's going to go, but we have this bullish cross in the daily. It looks like we have these inversion patterns that are about to play out, and it looks like we could have some 30% move in precious metals as a whole in the year to come. Maybe, I mean, it's going to take some time to finish the moves completely, but we're going step by step here, and if you miss out on the bottom step, it's going to be a big, giant leap up to try to get on the steps again. XRP, what I was trying to talk about in the opening, I believe we have another inverted hammer candle. These are bullish. It needed to come down, like I talked earlier, down to the 602 mark. It came down a little bit lower, and now you're looking to close out above this previous daily candle. So you're looking to close above 602. Like I said, I would be very happy if it came down to get that liquidity, which it did earlier, but now it's our job to close over 602. We got 6 hours to stay exactly where we're at. And then very quickly, I just want to read through this, the market breakdown. And I think, wow, 60 people here now. I'll be damned. But make sure to hit that like button. Only 39 likes. Those likes are very, 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 very important. Unless you want to send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army, I would highly encourage you to hit that like button. So, stocks are climbing Thursday on the major indexes build on the gains made after the Federal Reserve's decision to pause interest rates. The Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 are on pace for the 4th straight day of gains. Treasury yields are lower, with the 10-year yield declining for its 3rd consecutive day. Apple stock was in focus ahead of the company's September quarter results. All eyes will be focused on how well the iPhone 15 is selling, which we know it's selling like horse manure. Palantir posted better than expected financial. And honestly, if you have an Apple, you might as well just buy the Samsung Galaxy Note. Buy the new ones. Buy it. Doesn't even need to be a new one. You're using 75%. Apple uses 75% of their technology from Samsung. Get ahead, don't pay more, and get away from third-party manipulation. Because if you have an Apple, you're not even going to be able to do YouTube like I do, because you can't use third-party apps, so it's going to look like trash when you go live. Palantir posted better than expected financial results for the 3rd quarter, getting a boost to its commercial business from push into artificial intelligence-powered analytics applications. You can be down with Apple. I didn't say Apple's doesn't have its way. I just said you're gonna be restricted at every point. That's all. Exactly, Joshua. Oh, you're done with Apple. I got you. Yeah, ATK. I believe silver's getting ready to explode as well. I mean, we can see these inverted head and shoulders that everything is on. And when you're talking 30-year patterns, no, I got you, Joshua. I seen what you meant. Always finding you. They can't stop you. Thanks, Black Viper. I appreciate that. David Neat, I appreciate that as well. City upgrades Clorox to buy from Neutral, saying it believes the worst of the negative impacts from the August cyber attack is largely behind the cleaning products giant. In a research note, City says that while the ultimate full recovery of Clorox market share and blah blah, who gives a rat's ass about that? Now we already know that Apple is reporting earnings after the bell today. We already know it's earnings season. Roku own channel nabs 3% of all streaming time. Today's market rally includes a lot of big movers. Well, yeah, because the NASDAQ went crazy today. 428 out of 503 major stocks were up. Treasury yield falls on U.S. labor cools down. Treasury yields extend losses after signs of easing U.S. labor market supports the case for no more Fed hikes. I disagree with that. Weekly jobless claims rose to 217,000 from an upward revision of 212,000, while economists surveyed by the Wall Street Journal expected 214,000. Let's see what else we got here. I think that's all I wanted to cover. Bank of England pauses interest rates following the U.S. Fed and the ECB, but we already know that because the central bank controls it all. So why would the Bank of England and the European central banks, why would they raise rates if the central banks are already showing it all across the board that we're not? So the Bank of England kept interest rates unchanged on Thursday following the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank. Like the Fed, the Bank of England is battling inflation that it hasn't returned to its target despite a series of rate hikes. Between December 2021 and August this year, the UK central banks lifted borrowing costs at 14 straight meetings. Now officials say they are taking a more cautious approach as they evaluate the effects of previous hikes of auto. So thank you. Even the Bank of England trying to push us into hyperinflation. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this, please make sure to hit that like button as it does push this content more than you'll ever know. Please consider subscribing and joining the 18,600 subscribers. Other than that, have a blessed day. And remember, the way you treat each other is the biggest indictment on humanity. And I believe we treat each other very, very piss poor. That's why in this community we're very positive. We don't play the victim, but we support each other. Have a blessed afternoon and hit that like button.